You're standing in front of a crowd, presenting an idea that you believe in with all your heart. You've poured countless hours into researching, preparing, and refining your message. But as you look out at the sea of faces, you realize that your words are falling on deaf ears. Your audience remains unmoved, unconvinced, and unpersuaded. In this video, we'll dive deep into the Stoic approach to persuasion, exploring 10 essential strategies that will transform the way you communicate and connect with others. From understanding your audience and establishing credibility, to harnessing the power of emotion and leading by example, we'll uncover the hidden techniques that great leaders and communicators use to captivate, convince, and inspire. Number 10. Lead by example. Leading by example is about aligning your actions with your words. It's not enough to simply tell others what they should do. You must also demonstrate those principles in your own life. When you consistently live out the values and behaviors you promote, you build trust and credibility with your audience. They see that you are not just paying lip service to an idea, but that you truly believe in and are committed to the principles you espouse. One of the key benefits of leading by example is that it creates a powerful visual and emotional appeal. When your audience sees you actively embodying the ideas you advocate for, it makes your message more tangible and relatable. They can observe the positive impact of your principles in action, which can inspire them to adopt similar behaviors and attitudes. By serving as a role model, you provide a concrete example of what is possible and motivate others to follow in your footsteps. Leading by example also helps to build trust and rapport with your audience. When your actions consistently align with your words, people are more likely to view you as authentic, reliable, and trustworthy. They see that you are not just trying to persuade them for personal gain, but that you genuinely believe in and live out the principles you promote. This trust is essential for effective persuasion, as people are more likely to be influenced by those they perceive as credible and genuine. To effectively lead by example, it's important to be mindful of your actions and decisions in all aspects of your life. Consistency is key. If you advocate for a particular behavior or value in your persuasive message, make sure that you are modeling that behavior in your personal and professional life. For example, if you are trying to persuade your team to prioritize work-life balance, make sure that you are setting boundaries and taking time for self-care in your own life. By consistently demonstrating the principles you promote, you create a stronger and more authentic persuasive message. It's also important to be transparent and honest about your own journey and challenges. Leading by example doesn't mean presenting yourself as perfect or infallible. In fact, sharing your own struggles and how you have worked to overcome them can make you more relatable and inspiring to your audience. By being open about your own growth and development, you show that the principles you advocate for are not just abstract ideas, but are achievable and transformative in real life. Number 9. Use the power of repetition. Repetition is a powerful tool in persuasion because it helps to anchor your main points in your audience's minds. When you consistently reinforce your core message, you create a sense of familiarity and emphasis that can influence your listeners' perceptions and decisions. By repeating your key ideas, you signal to your audience that these points are crucial and worthy of their attention and consideration. One effective way to use repetition in your persuasive argument is to identify your central themes or takeaways and weave them throughout your message. Start by clearly stating your main points in your introduction, and then revisit them at strategic intervals during your presentation. Use transitional phrases like, "as I mentioned earlier," or "let's circle back to our main idea," to remind your audience of the key concepts you want them to remember. Another powerful technique is to use memorable phrases, slogans, or rhetorical devices that encapsulate your core message. These can be short, catchy statements that sum up your main arguments in a way that is easy to understand and remember. For example, if you're trying to persuade your audience to adopt a new time management system, you might use a phrase like, "work smarter, not harder," or "prioritize, plan, and perform." By repeatedly using these memorable phrases throughout your presentation, you create a mental anchor that helps your audience grasp and retain your key ideas. When using repetition, it's important to strike a balance between reinforcement and redundancy. While repeating your main points is crucial, you don't want to overdo it to the point where your audience becomes bored or disengaged. Vary the way you express your key ideas, using different words, examples, or anecdotes to keep your message fresh and engaging. Use repetition strategically, rather than simply repeating the same phrases verbatim. It's also essential to consider the timing and placement of your repetition. Repeating your main points at the beginning, middle, and end of your presentation can help to reinforce your message and create a sense of cohesion and unity. Additionally, using repetition during key moments, such as when you're addressing a particularly important or complex idea, can help to emphasize the significance of your point and ensure that your audience fully understands and remembers it. Number 8. Practice active listening. Active listening goes beyond simply hearing the words your audience speaks. It involves fully engaging with their ideas, opinions, and concerns, and demonstrating a sincere desire to understand their point of view. By showing genuine interest in your audience's perspectives, you create an atmosphere of trust and respect, which is essential for effective persuasion. One key aspect of active listening is asking thoughtful questions. Instead of rushing to present your own arguments, take the time to inquire about your audience's thoughts and experiences. Use open-ended questions that encourage them to share their insights and elaborate on their viewpoints. For example, you might ask, "What are your main concerns about this proposal?" or "How do you think this solution could benefit your team?" By inviting your audience to express themselves, you gain valuable information that can help you craft a more compelling and relevant, persuasive message. As you listen to your audience's responses, it's crucial to give them your full attention. Avoid interrupting, multitasking, or mentally preparing your own counterarguments. Instead, focus on understanding the essence of their message and the emotions behind their words. Use nonverbal cues, such as maintaining eye contact, nodding, and leaning in, to show that you are actively engaged in the conversation. Another important aspect of active listening is acknowledging your audience's perspectives before presenting your own. This doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with everything they say, but rather demonstrating that you have heard and understood their concerns. Use phrases like, "I appreciate your perspective on this issue," or "I can see how that could be a challenge," to validate their feelings and experiences. By acknowledging their viewpoints, you show respect for their opinions and create a more receptive environment for your own persuasive message. Active listening also involves being open to feedback and willing to adapt your approach based on your audience's responses. As you present your ideas, pay attention to their reactions and body language. If you sense resistance or confusion, take a step back and ask for clarification. Be willing to modify your message or provide additional information to address their concerns. By being flexible and responsive to your audience's needs, you demonstrate your commitment to finding a mutually beneficial solution. As Stoic philosophy teaches, true wisdom comes from a humble and open-minded approach to learning. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. By practicing active listening, you create opportunities to expand your own knowledge and understanding, while also building stronger connections with your audience. Number 7. Be concise and clear. In today's fast-paced and information-saturated world, people's attention spans are shorter than ever. To effectively persuade your audience, it's crucial to convey your message in a way that is easy to grasp and remember. This means avoiding jargon, complex language, and convoluted explanations that may confuse or alienate your listeners. Instead, strive for simplicity and clarity in your communication. One effective way to achieve clarity is to break down your message into its core components. Identify the key points you want to convey and prioritize them based on their importance and relevance to your audience. Use clear and concise language to express each point, focusing on the essential information and avoiding unnecessary details. By presenting your ideas in a structured and logical manner, you make it easier for your audience to follow your train of thought and understand the significance of your message. When crafting your persuasive message, it's also important to consider the language and terminology you use. While it may be tempting to showcase your expertise by using technical terms or industry-specific jargon, this can often backfire if your audience is not familiar with these concepts. Instead, opt for language that is accessible and relatable to your target audience. Use analogies, examples, and metaphors to illustrate your points and make abstract ideas more concrete and tangible. Concision is another crucial aspect of clear communication. As Stoic philosophy teaches, less is often more when it comes to persuasion. Avoid long-winded explanations or rambling anecdotes that may dilute the impact of your message. Instead, focus on delivering your key points in a succinct and impactful way. Use short, punchy sentences and paragraphs to maintain your audience's attention and drive your message home. It's important to note that being concise does not mean sacrificing depth or nuance in your persuasive arguments. As Marcus Aurelius advises, look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Take the time to thoroughly research and understand your topic, but distill your knowledge into a clear and concise message that resonates with your audience. By striking a balance between depth and brevity, you can create a persuasive argument that is both informative and engaging. To master the art of clear and concise communication, it's essential to practice active listening and seek feedback from your audience. Pay attention to their reactions, questions, and body language to gauge their level of understanding and engagement. If you notice confusion or disinterest, take the opportunity to clarify your points or adjust your language to better connect with your listeners. By being responsive and adaptable in your communication style, you can ensure that your persuasive message hits the mark. Number 6. Use social proof. Social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people tend to follow the actions and beliefs of others, especially when they are uncertain about a decision. By showing how others have successfully adopted your ideas or benefited from your proposal, you can create a sense of credibility and trust in your audience's minds. This is where testimonials, case studies, and expert endorsements come into play. Testimonials are first-hand accounts from individuals who have experienced the positive impact of your ideas or proposal. They provide a relatable and authentic perspective that can resonate with your audience. When selecting testimonials, look for stories that highlight specific benefits and outcomes that align with your audience's needs and goals. Use quotes or video clips to bring these stories to life and create a stronger emotional connection. Case studies take testimonials a step further by providing a more in-depth analysis of how your ideas or proposal have been successfully implemented in real-world situations. They offer a detailed look at the challenges, solutions, and results achieved, making the benefits of your proposal more tangible and concrete. When presenting case studies, use a storytelling approach to engage your audience and make the information more memorable. Expert endorsements are another powerful form of social proof. When respected authorities or thought leaders in your field support your ideas or proposal, it can significantly boost your credibility and influence. Seek out endorsements from individuals or organizations that your audience trusts and admires. Use their quotes, logos, or seals of approval to visually reinforce their support and add weight to your persuasive message. When leveraging social proof, it's essential to use it strategically and authentically. Cherry-picking or misrepresenting testimonials, case studies, or endorsements can backfire and damage your credibility. As Stoic philosophy teaches, honesty and integrity are crucial virtues to uphold. Be transparent about the sources of your social proof and ensure that they accurately reflect the experiences and outcomes of those involved. It's also important to balance social proof with your own arguments and evidence. While social proof can be influential, it should not be the sole basis of your persuasive message. Use it to supplement and reinforce your own ideas and reasoning rather than relying on it as a crutch. As Marcus Aurelius advises, accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Embrace the power of social proof, but also have the courage to stand behind your own convictions and ideas. Number 5. Anticipate and address objections. Anticipating objections is a proactive approach to persuasion. Before presenting your ideas, take the time to identify potential concerns or counterarguments that your audience may raise. Put yourself in their shoes and consider the questions or doubts they might have about your proposal. By anticipating these objections, you can prepare a well-rounded and convincing case that addresses their concerns head-on. Once you've identified potential objections, it's essential to acknowledge them openly and respectfully. Ignoring or dismissing valid concerns can undermine your credibility and create resistance to your message. Instead, demonstrate that you understand and appreciate your audience's perspective. This shows that you have carefully considered their point of view and are willing to engage in a thoughtful discussion. After acknowledging objections, provide counterarguments or solutions that address the core issues. Use logic, evidence, and examples to support your position and demonstrate the validity of your proposal. For instance, if your audience is concerned about the cost of implementing your ideas, provide a detailed cost-benefit analysis that showcases the long-term value and return on investment. By directly addressing their objections with well-reasoned arguments, you can alleviate their concerns and build confidence in your proposal. It's important to remember that not all objections can be fully resolved. In some cases, there may be valid limitations or challenges that cannot be easily overcome. In these situations, it's crucial to be honest and transparent about the potential drawbacks, while still highlighting the overall benefits of your proposal. Acknowledge the limitations and provide a realistic plan for mitigating them. By demonstrating a nuanced understanding of the situation and offering practical solutions, you can maintain your credibility and show your commitment to finding the best possible outcome. As you address objections, keep in mind the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control. As Marcus Aurelius advises, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. While you can't control how your audience will ultimately respond to your persuasive efforts, you can control the quality of your arguments, the depth of your understanding, and the sincerity of your engagement with their concerns. By focusing on these elements, you can create a more compelling and persuasive case. Number 4, emphasize benefits. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When it comes to persuasion, the quality of your thoughts should focus on how your ideas can positively impact your audience's lives. By highlighting the benefits and value your proposal brings to the table, you can capture your audience's attention and inspire them to embrace your perspective. One effective way to emphasize benefits is to clearly articulate how your ideas can solve your audience's problems or alleviate their pain points. Take the time to research and understand the challenges your audience faces, and then position your proposal as a solution. For example, if you are trying to persuade a company to adopt a new software system, emphasize how it can streamline their workflows, reduce errors, and ultimately save them time and money. By directly addressing their concerns and demonstrating the tangible benefits of your proposal, you can make a compelling case for why they should take action. In addition to problem solving, highlighting how your ideas can improve your audience's lives is another powerful way to emphasize benefits. Paint a picture of the positive outcomes they can expect by adopting your proposal. This could include increased efficiency, greater success, enhanced well-being, or any other relevant advantages. Use specific examples and data to illustrate the potential impact of your ideas, making the benefits concrete and relatable to your audience. When emphasizing benefits, it's crucial to focus on the audience's perspective rather than solely on your own. As Marcus Aurelius advises, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Put yourself in your audience's shoes and consider what they value most. Tailor your message to align with their goals, aspirations, and priorities. By demonstrating how your proposal supports their objectives and contributes to their success, you can create a stronger connection and increase the likelihood of persuasion. It's also important to be honest and realistic when emphasizing benefits. Avoid making exaggerated claims or promises that you cannot deliver on. As Stoic philosophy teaches, living with integrity and honesty is essential for a virtuous life. Be transparent about any potential limitations or challenges associated with your proposal, and provide a balanced perspective. By presenting a realistic and achievable picture of the benefits, you can build trust with your audience and demonstrate your commitment to their success. As you craft your persuasive message, keep in mind the words of Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Focus your energy on highlighting the genuine benefits and value your proposal offers, rather than getting caught up in external factors beyond your control. By staying true to your message and emphasizing the positive impact your ideas can have, you can inspire your audience to embrace change and take action. Number 3, use emotional appeals. Emotions play a significant role in decision-making and can greatly influence the effectiveness of your persuasive efforts. As Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By engaging your audience's emotions, you can leave a lasting impact on their minds and hearts, making them more receptive to your message." One of the most potent tools for emotional appeal is storytelling. Stories have the ability to transport your audience to another place and time, allowing them to experience the emotions and challenges of the characters. When crafting your persuasive message, consider incorporating a relevant story that illustrates your point. This could be a personal anecdote, a case study, or even a fictional tale that resonates with your audience. By weaving a compelling narrative, you can create an emotional connection that makes your message more memorable and impactful. In addition to storytelling, using vivid language and relatable examples can help evoke emotions in your audience. Paint a picture with your words, using descriptive adjectives and metaphors to bring your ideas to life. For instance, instead of simply stating that a new product is innovative, describe how it revolutionizes the way people live their lives, making tasks easier and more enjoyable. By engaging your audience's senses and imagination, you can create a stronger emotional response to your message. When using emotional appeals, it's essential to strike a balance between logic and emotion. While emotions can be powerful persuasive tools, they should not be used manipulatively or at the expense of reason. As Marcus Aurelius advises, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Use emotional appeals to complement your logical arguments, not to replace them. By presenting a well-rounded case that speaks to both the heart and the mind, you can create a more compelling and persuasive argument. It's also important to consider the specific emotions that will resonate with your audience. Different emotions, such as joy, fear, anger, or compassion, can be effective in different contexts. For example, if you are trying to persuade people to support a charitable cause, evoking compassion and empathy may be more effective than using fear or anger. Understanding your audience's emotional triggers and tailoring your appeals accordingly can help you create a more targeted and impactful message. As you craft your persuasive message, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Don't let the fear of rejection or failure hold you back from using emotional appeals in your persuasion. Embrace the power of emotions to create a deep connection with your audience and inspire them to take action. Number 2, establish credibility. Credibility is the foundation upon which trust is built. When your audience perceives you as credible, they are more likely to listen to your message and be open to your ideas. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer." In the context of persuasion, this means that to establish credibility, you must demonstrate expertise, honesty, and reliability in your words and actions. One effective way to showcase your expertise is by using credible sources and evidence to support your arguments. When presenting information, cite reputable studies, experts in the field, or well-established facts. This not only strengthens your case, but also shows that you have done your research and are well-informed on the topic. Remember, the goal is not to overwhelm your audience with an endless stream of data, but rather to strategically use evidence to reinforce your key points. Honesty is another critical component of credibility. As Marcus Aurelius advises, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Being truthful and transparent in your communication helps foster trust with your audience. Avoid making exaggerated claims or promises that you cannot deliver on. If you are unsure about something, admit it and offer to find the answer. People appreciate sincerity and are more likely to be persuaded by someone they perceive as genuine. Consistency is also essential in establishing credibility. Ensure that your words align with your actions and that your message remains coherent across different platforms and situations. Inconsistency can undermine your credibility and make your audience question your reliability. As Stoic philosophy teaches, living in accordance with your values and principles is the path to a virtuous life. By consistently demonstrating your expertise, honesty, and reliability, you build a strong reputation that enhances your persuasive power. Establishing credibility takes time and effort, but it is a worthwhile investment in your ability to persuade others. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Focus on embodying the qualities of expertise, honesty, and reliability in your daily life, and your credibility will naturally shine through in your persuasive endeavors. Number 1. Know your audience. The first and most critical step in mastering the art of persuasion is to know your audience. Take the time to understand the background, interests, and motivations of the people you are trying to persuade. Ask yourself questions like, who are they? What do they value? What are their goals and aspirations? What challenges or obstacles do they face? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of empathy and understanding others. In his personal writings, Meditations, he states, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? By putting yourself in your audience's shoes, you can better understand their perspective and tailor your message accordingly. Once you have a clear picture of your audience, adapt your message to resonate with their values and beliefs. Use language and examples that they can relate to, and highlight how your proposal aligns with their interests. Remember, people are more likely to be persuaded by arguments that speak to their core values and address their specific needs. For instance, if you're trying to convince a group of environmentally conscious individuals to support a new sustainability initiative, focus on the ecological benefits and how the project contributes to a greener future. On the other hand, if you're pitching a cost-saving measure to a budget-minded executive, emphasize the financial advantages and long-term ROI. By taking the time to understand your audience and customizing your message, you lay the groundwork for effective persuasion. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, to refrain from imitation is the best revenge. Don't simply mimic others' persuasive tactics. Instead, craft a unique approach that genuinely connects with your audience. As we come to the end of this exploration into the art of persuasion through the lens of Stoic philosophy, I hope you feel empowered and inspired to put these principles into practice. Mastering the art of persuasion is not about manipulating others or forcing your will upon them. Rather, it's about connecting with people on a deep, authentic level and inspiring them to see the world in a new way. So as you go forth from this video, remember the key lessons we've explored. Understand your audience, establish credibility, harness the power of emotion, emphasize benefits, anticipate objections, practice active listening, be clear and concise, use repetition strategically, leverage social proof, and above all, lead by example. And as always, I hope you all find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.